is a beautiful spring recipe for you. This is my pea risotto. And there's not only peas in this delicious sauce, I'm also going to be adding some spinach and lots of basil. And now when I say lots of basil, I mean a whole bunch of basil. Now you may think this might be a little bit overpowering for our risotto, but here's the trick that I like to do with the basil. Instead of blending this into the pea sauce, I'm going to blanch it first. It not only takes away the harshness of the intense flavour of the basil, but it also ensures our beautiful sauce is going to stay vibrant green. So it sort of snap locks all of the colour in. So over here I've got some boiling water. In goes the basil leaves, and you'll see it cooks down straight away, just like spinach. And we're not cooking this, we're just wanting to get the heat into this very quickly. So just submerge it in the water, and you'll see the water come straight back up to the boil. That's called blanching. So we're going to turn that off. We're going to take our basil out, just drain it from the excess water, and we want to instantly chill it. So some iced water, take the last little leaves out, and then into that water. Now that can sit in there for a moment while we start our risotto. So in a big pan, just like this one, we're going to add some olive oil, about a tablespoon. We'll add some French shallots. You could also use onion, just use half an onion. I like French shallots because they're sweeter, milder in flavour. And some garlic. I've just minced some fresh garlic. We want to cook that for a moment before we add our rice. Now, we want to use a short grain rice for risotto, something that's quite starchy. So you could use arborio rice. I'm actually using carnaroli rice, and you can get this from all good delis. I like this one because it holds its shape quite nicely and does produce lots and lots of starch, which means a creamier risotto. So once this is softened, we want to add our rice. We want to coat that rice in the garlic, shallots, and that oil. I can hear that sizzling, so it's time to add our white wine. Good glug of white wine. And we want to cook off that alcohol. So let that bubble away and reduce. We also don't want that wine to be in there before we add our stock. So let that bubble away, and then we start the process of feeding the risotto with our delicious stock. This is a chicken stock. Do bring it up to a boil and get it quite hot. And then once that wine goes, little by little, I'm going to add a ladleful of that stock. And this is going to take about 15 to 16 minutes before we start adding our green sauce. So while that's bubbling away, I'll just grab our basil, and I'm going to blend this with all of our other ingredients. So we'll just drain off the basil leaves, squeeze the excess water out. That can go into our blender. I also need just a tiny bit of liquid in here, so I'll just grab a ladleful of the chicken stock. About half a ladleful is all we need. And to this, I'll add some peas. I've blanched the peas, baby peas. And for some extra greenness, some spinach. There's no reason why you couldn't do this with some blanched broccoli too. It works quite nicely. I'm going to pop the lid on. We'll blend this until it's smooth. All right, that's what we're after. Look at this, beautiful, smooth green, and that is going to give all the flavour to our risotto. Now, back to our risotto. You can see all of that liquid has been absorbed, and now I'm just going to relax by the pan and little by little add that stock. All right, this is looking really good. You can see the wave, as they call it, in the risotto, where you can actually flip it like that and it forms a wave. We can add our butter and a good handful of our Parmesan cheese, and we're just going to gently stir that in. And that's looking really good. All right, I've left our pea mixture to the last minute because I want to keep that vibrant colour. We can add that now, and we'll add half. And then if it needs some more, we can add some more. That freezes really well, so next time you want to make a pea and basil risotto, you can just add that. And this is what it's all about, this gorgeous, vibrant colour. So delicious, full of flavour. And this is actually quite a healthy dish here because of all the green veggies that we've added to this. I'm going to give it one last toss And we're ready to plate this up. Grab my ladle, get a generous spoonful, and in true authentic Italian style, we're going to serve it on a plate as opposed to a bowl. The whole idea of serving on a plate is the even heat distribution. So the rice underneath is not going to overcook. Where you put it in a bowl and it overcooks. And I'm going to take this up a notch by serving it with one of my favourite cheeses, Burrata, because it's so creamy and goes really nicely with the basil and the spinach and the peas. I'm just going to break that straight over the top, just like that. Show all the stracciatella inside, so creamy. Some pine nuts over the top, some extra parmesan, and one last thing, freshly cracked pepper. And there you have it, a stunning risotto. It looks very restaurant quality, but you can see we're using very simple ingredients, use good quality rice, good quality cheese, and you'll have this perfect risotto every single time.